And good afternoon, welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's day is Sunday, the 12th of June 2022. Without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Buy BSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online, the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. Okay, here's the news. Check it out. Edward Snowden just tweeted. Actually, yesterday. Gold is just Bitcoin that can't be sent over the internet. Not quite, mate. Gold has got a completely different use case to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's use case is immutable data. It cannot be immutable if it has a central point of authority or control, which means it has to be economically competitive. Without competition, you simply get collusion. So Bitcoin is immutable data, secured and underpinned by economic principles. It is not gold. There's just Bitcoin that can't be sent over the internet. Blah, 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 blah. Mate, listen to my show, give me a DM, and I'll explain it to you. Right, that's the first one. So check this out. Jimmy Nugent just tweeted out, this type of blatant misconduct in digital asset industry needs to stop. From my meetings with enterprise, investors and government reps, I can tell you this is exactly what inhibits growth of blockchain for a world of good. And this was in response to Crypto Well saying, just in, SEC confirms Do Kwon cashed out over $2.7 billion in the span of a few months prior to the Luna UST collapse. Surprise, surprise. Should I say no surprise, but we know what's going on. Let's see what Cointelegraph says about it. So Do Kwon dismisses allegations, well, he's not exactly going to admit to it, is he? Of cashing out $2.7 billion. That's one of Terra Luna UST. The rumours surfaced after a Twitter threaded by @FatmanTerra shared the alleged details on how Kwon, along with Terra Luna influencers, managed to drain funds while artificially maintaining liquidity. No shit. Do Kwon, the CEO and co-founder of the infamous Terra Luna and Terra USD, which is UST, ecosystems, refuted the claims of cashing out $80 million every month for nearly 3 years. That is a huge amount of money. 80 million every month. Oh my goodness me. That's over 2 million. Yeah, that's over $2 million a day. Good grief. Numerous unconfirmed reports surfaced on the 11th of June claiming Kwon's participation in draining liquidity out of Luna and UST before the crash to purchase US dollar pegged stablecoins such as Tether USDT. Rumours about Kwon's cashing out Luna and UST reserves surfaced after a Twitter thread by @Fatman shared the alleged details on how Kwon, along with Terra Luna influencers, managed to drain the funds while artificially maintaining liquidity. Some of you thought 80 million per month was bad. That's nothing. Here's how Do Kwon cashed out 2.7 billion over the span of mere months, thanks to Degan Box, the perfect mechanism to drain liquidity out of Luna and UST system and into hard money like USDT. Well, it's not exactly hard money, but anyway, we know the shitcoiners think it is. However, the entrepreneur advised the crypto community to steer away from fueling the rumors until it was proven true. He said this should be obvious, but the claim that I cashed out 2.7 billion from anything is categorically false. Well, he's not exactly going to admit it, is he? But all we know is that everybody here, a lot of people lost millions. So somebody would have pocketed it somewhere, because somebody has to cash out. Somebody has to cash out in order to drive the price down. But there we go. We will see what happens in the near future. Anyway, I want to do a 10-minute show, so we'll move on quickly. Check this out. Just a quick editorial from Jordan Atkins. It says, in the court, the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto is already a foregone conclusion, which it is, because due to the ruling in the Ira Kleiman case, where they said that, they recognised that Craig mined the coins by himself and did not have to hand any over. He could keep them. So just a quick one here. The slate of lawsuits filed by Dr. Craig Wright against specific people and companies within the digital asset industry are often analysed as though they are a deliberate combination of Dr. Wright's emergence as Satoshi Nakamoto in 2015, when the media outlets Wired and Gizmodo revealed that a joint investigation had led them to believe that Dr. Wright is the elusive inventor of Bitcoin. This is the wrong way to look at things. Though the now infamous reveal might be said to have set the wheels in motion for Dr. Wright's current legal skirmishes, it is usually forgotten or intentionally omitted that those outlets announced that Dr. Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto without his consent and against his wishes. In fact, it seems that at the time Wired and Gizmodo were putting together their stories, Dr. Wright considered any leak of his identity as Satoshi Nakamoto to be a disaster. This can be seen from private emails revealed in the Kleiman vs. Wright lawsuit. Dr. Wright was alarmed at the idea that journalists might have picked up his trail, and he wrote to his wife and colleagues late in 2015 that a reporter was sniffing around his business in Florida and were looking for him in London, describing the reporter's succeeding as the worst case and worrying that the interest might have come as a result of an ex-staff member might be selling his data. Oh, let's have a quick look at this. What's this? So, email from Dr. Craig S. Wright to Robert McGregor and a few others. Subject to reporter re Satoshi. Look at that. So, oh, this is great. I suspect that some of the ex-staff stole backups. Worst case is my communication with Dave. The keys are on it as well, but they are EAS 256 encrypted with 24-character randomized passwords. The emails start in 2007, where we discussed the idea. They are sometimes digitally signed. I can't prove that the data was stolen, but it is possible. My suspicion is an ex-staffer could be selling data to that rag. Can we find out more about this at all? Is there a means you know of? And this carried on. So it says here, I was contacted by some friends in Florida. They have reporters trying to get in touch, Dave and I. It turns out that they are looking for me in London right now. They're talking to people who have a connection to Dave in Florida. Ira, Dave's brother, may be an issue. So he already suspected Ira back then. I trust Patrick. He is don't ask, don't tell. But they are digging. Therefore, a viewing of Dr. Wright's actions since 2015 as some perpetuation of him having outed himself as Satoshi is the wrong angle, particularly in light of the probability that the Wired and Gizmodo stories were the result of a miscellaneous leak by one of Dr. Wright's enemies. For example, Ira Kleiman was in touch with the same Gizmodo Wired journalist that Dr. Wright wanted nothing to do with. Wow, this is the first time I've seen this. So another email from Dave, subject story. At the moment, I just don't see much of an upside for participating in your story aside from satisfying my own curiosity about the information you have on my brother. I can only see downsides such as an unwanted media coverage resulting in an upheaval of my family's life. I need you to assure me that there is nothing published suggesting that I may contain drives with Bitcoin on them. That's the kind of public information that concerns me. News like that could draw the wrong kind of attention. We'll just read the rest of this. Did you read the article last month about the Taiwanese guy kidnapped and held for Bitcoin ransom? I don't care to put my family at risk for being abducted for bitcoins like that. Don't even exist. If Craig wasn't already able to access the Bitcoin wallets he had shared with Dave, he would have asked to see the drives I have, but he didn't. I believe whatever hidden bitcoins exist out there are in Craig's possession. It is likely that some of them have been used to build his various companies and supercomputers. In yellow here highlighted, if my brother had bitcoins of any value, he wouldn't have died with only debts. Oh, see, look. So, looks like I renew this. He was in and out of the VA hospital for about 2 years before he passed away, so he didn't have a steady income. And shortly before he died, I learned that his house was in foreclosure. If Dave owned a great number of bitcoins, why wouldn't he sell a few to help pay off his bills? There are a lot of missing pieces. I want to learn the truth about it all just as much as you, but I don't think I'm ready to meet with you right now. If you want to corroborate some things, you can ask me online and I'll do what I can. Ira. So Ira knew all along. You know, so again, there are dark forces at work, people. Good grief. Coming up to 9 minutes, I just wanted to touch on this quickly. It said, no, a UK judge didn't actually rule that NFTs are property. Well, they are property. if they're on a blockchain that is sovereign. So in other words, a blockchain that doesn't have a central point of authority or control, which is only BSV. Literally has to have a proof of work blockchain with economic competition between the different nodes that economically sustain the network. And again, like I said, you need a chain of signatures, so SegWit can't be used as cash. You need an infinite scale, which is uncapped block size, and you need I've gone with the last one, a locked protocol, so anyone and everyone can build on it. So yeah, your NFTs are your NFTs. You can prove that you have them, even if somebody stole them. They belong to you, so you can prove that you actually own them. You have sovereignty over that, but we'll touch on that another time. Centralized and decentralized digital networks, key differences. Well, it's not actually decentralized and centralized. It's commoditized and securitized. Securitized is centralized, and commoditized is common to everyone. But we'll have to go through that another time. Just picked up on this one. Check this out. The Speakeasy interview with Matt Hancock. Find out what he thinks about freedom of speech, liberalism, why London should be the centre of crypto economy on the new episode of the Speakeasy FM podcast, out tomorrow. Subscribe today. Check this out. Watch again. See what he says. I mean, they know that blockchain is the future. Here we go.
The blockchain technology that underpins crypto is here to stay. It's going to revolutionise how many industries work. It will transform finance over the next decade, and if we're not there, it will simply happen elsewhere. And you can already see that. Binance, one of the big exchanges, decided to make its European headquarters in Paris, not in London. Now, London has been the global centre outside of the United States, and certainly the European centre for finance for centuries, because we attract and we embrace new technologies. We were the first to come up with the idea of a central bank in the first place. We did it with the Eurobond market in the 80s. We did it with the repo market, the swaps market. These may sound technical, but each one was a revolution in high finance. And if we decide that we don't like the look of this thing, so we're going to let Emmanuel Macron have it. I mean, honestly, this is how we.
Is there a danger of that? I mean,
there is a danger of it. No, the horse hasn't bolted at all. We've got such strengths here. But for people to look at a minor market correction, see a couple of companies go bust, and say, "Oh, I'm not sure," that would be completely wrong.
There we go, people. You heard it here. Well, heard it here first. I'm reporting on this. They want UK to be a blockchain hub, so we just need to move them in the right direction. Right, let's have a quick look at the Coinbase price. Look, down 82% from when it first was released. Look, I told you they exit scammed. That's all it was. They IPO'd peak of the market. They all sold out on the day that that it was listed. Good grief. Investors can't be happy with that. Let's have a quick look at CoinDots. Where we're now 76% transactions. Where are we now on BitInfo charts? 23.8%. Beautiful. Remember, for us to get our sovereignty back, we need a money used by the people to create government for the people, or we'll have a government that creates money to control the people. And in order to have a digital commodity money, we need a fixed supply, economic competition, a locked protocol, infinite scale, and a chain of signatures. Right, peeps, we'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the show. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.